Good afternoon. Thanks for attending the workshop on UCI tools for mobile health research. The next slide, please. My name is Kai Zheng. I'm a professor in the School of Information Computer Science, Informatics, Department of Informatics, and also Department of Emergency Medicine. I direct the UCI Center for Biomedical Informatics, which is a hosting organization for this particular workshop. Next slide, please. And for those of you who are not familiar with Center for Biomedical Informatics, we are a unit under the Institute for Clinical Translational Science. We also work with Institute for Precision Health, and we receive funding from the Office of Information Data and Information Technology as well, in addition to different type of federal grants and contracts. The mission of Center for Biomedical Informatics is to provide innovative informatics solutions to facilitate clinical research, accelerate result translation, and engender the transformation of our hospitals and clinics into a learning health system. Next slide, please. And we provide different type of services. For instance, we provide Alice Broker service for retrieving UCI health patient data according to IRB approved protocols. We also provide self-service de-identified research data warehouse for researchers to access UCI health data without requiring IRB for using partially de-identified data. And we have many tools for researchers to conduct cohort discovery, for instance, figuring out how many patients we have at UCI that meet your inclusion-exclusion criteria. And that you can also do many aggregate level of analysis using the tools that we provide without accessing patient-level data. And we provide a service in advanced data analytics, particularly AI, machine learning, natural language processing, and also large language models. We manage many of the data sharing networks. For instance, we manage the PCORINet from UCI. We manage TriNetX, federated cohort discovery internationally. And we manage many other type of data sharing networks with other institutions. So if you're interested in using data beyond UCI or beyond the University of California system, we are the entity that may provide you assistance in accessing data that are outside of UCI. And then we provide service in developing research software and also research engagement and enrichment. So that's a very quick overview of what we do at the Center for Biomedical Informatics. And today we're very happy to, extremely delighted to be able to have Amir present a tool that will enable convenient, low-cost, highly effective collection of research data through mobile platforms. So now, Amir, I'll give this floor to you, and thanks for spending time with us today.
Thank you so much, Kai, for the nice presentation and introduction. I'm so glad to be here. Amir Rahmani, I'm a professor of nursing computer science and also integrative health and a computer scientist by training. And also a disclosure, I'm a co-founder of Centralive that we are going to present and discuss about it today. And I want to actually start with the history of Centralive, what it was and how it became Centralive, because it was, it is originated from UCI. This is actually a tool that it started building at UCI first as an academic platform. And the idea about Centralive is it's kind of unique in a sense that, to the best of my knowledge, this is the only closed loop platform available out there that can allow you to build smart adaptive interventions through mobile apps without any coding. And I'll give you a demo and show you what I mean by this notion of closed loop and so on. So, but before even going there, let me start with a little bit of background about where all of this started. And it was a few years ago, me and a few of my colleagues received a grant from National Science Foundation to build personalized interventions for pregnant mothers. And as part of that grant, we wanted to integrate different type of devices, a few wearable devices, and also portable devices. Uh, and also we needed a mobile app because we wanted to stay in touch and continuously collect data from these pregnant mothers. So the mobile app was needed not only for, for the sake of sending questionnaires, ecological momentary assessments, and so on, but also we used the smartphone to capture some sort of context or what we call live logging through smartphone sensing. But on top of that, we had a third component, and the idea was, okay, now that we have data coming from these devices and we have both subjective and objective data, how can we build models to kind of provide personalized digital interventions? And for us, the digital intervention was an exercise recommendation as well as an stress management uh, mm, intervention, digital intervention, and all was delivered through the app. So, but we first, of course, started with a feasibility small pilot study because we wanted to really even understand what challenges we have ahead of us. We started with a small pilot, but quickly ran into us a lot of issues. One issue we had or we faced was uh, this the fact that all these devices, their ecosystem was really fragmented. For example, in that study, we had Oura Ring, we had also smartwatch from Samsung, and they each had their own kind of ecosystem, their own dashboards and all those things too, which was hard for us to integrate and also to track adherence and those kind of things. The second issue was that, okay, that was more for the, sensor on objective data collection. How about like patient reported, or in this scenario, they were not patient, like participants reported outcomes. Uh, so again, we needed another platform, let's say like RedCap or Qualtrics, which were not even, at least at that time, none of them were app-based, they were just web-based and so on. So this was yet another platform. Okay, how now to integrate properly those things and the self-reported data. And the third aspect, as I also mentioned about this fragmented ecosystem, was the fact that we needed to manually now track too many things. And oftentimes we would notice things a bit late, especially, for example, because wearable devices or participants would forget, sometimes charges, sometimes wear it. So we really kind of ended up a lot of having missing data and so on. And the fact that, of course, all of the data analytics was also done offline, and not having a dashboard for that was also painful. So what happened in the end, of course, this was fortunately this was just the beginning of the study. So we had quite a few more years to learn and rebuild. And but this small pilot study at the beginning wasn't really that much successful in the sense of like giving us conclusive research data. It was successful in the sense that we learned a lot, and that was the purpose because it was a feasibility analysis. But we ended up having a lot of missing data, low quality data, poor participant retention, as I said, because we noticed technical issues and many other issues, oftentimes late and so on. And that was actually when we started building a platform. And that problem wasn't, and that entire implementation wasn't just a one-time thing. We needed to also run studies in for other projects. For example, we had another project with elderly population. We had another project with college students, UCI college students, and for each of them, we would reinvent the wheel, start from scratch, custom integration, and all these things. So after a while, we noticed that these platforms have a lot in common. And if we can come up with a way that we can provide some sort of service, but the service is flexible, that we can not only at is design time, but also at the deployment time, we can make it, how to say, more flexible and personalize it without any coding. That would be very valuable. So we started designing this platform. At that time, it used to be called Zotcare, where we started innovating different devices, smartphones, and also having our own local cloud infrastructure. And in fact, Zotcare became kind of successful as an academic platform. Uh, there is a publication about it if you're interested, and of course the materials, the slide deck and the video will be shared with you, so you can also offline find the articles. And so in this article, you'll see that it explains how we implemented this flexible and personalizable platform, which could help you save a lot of cost and time. So in fact, when you receive a grant, you can rather than just spending a lot of that research grant for non-research purposes, you can now uh, would be able to at least automate a lot of these things and use the actual money for research. So yeah, at UCI, quite a few PIs used it. We also had external non-UCI collaborators using it. But when we noticed that they actually have a traction, and these are, for example, some of the exemplary studies. These are the UCI ones. For example, the Project Cerosi, led by the Public Health School, used and is still using Zotker/Centralive for another study. NIH, we use similar devices, and also, of course, this NSF project. But about a year ago, but a bit more than a year ago, so 1.5 year ago, we received this grant, the proof of product grant from UCI Bill Applied Innovation. And through some meetings with them, we were kind of convinced and encouraged to kind of try to turn this into a commercial product. Of course, it's a UCI licensed technology to make it available to a broader community of people and researchers who want to build and run studies in everyday settings and don't want to spend too much funding and time building things from scratch. So they can have this subscription as a service to kind of run their studies in naturalistic settings. So that's all when Centralive actually started. And we redesigned everything, considering kind of the user experience, security, even scalability. Now, for example, a Centralive runs on AWS. It is HIPAA compliant. It has been designed by professional developers so that it's more user friendly for you to build your studies quickly. So now that we know a little bit about the background, I would like to show you a quick demo so that you're more familiar with the technology. So as what you're going to see in the demo is just one example. Of course, Centralive is application or research question agnostic. Depending on your population and their needs, you can choose any devices or build your own app and study at the same time. But I just wanted to mention that it has two kind of sides. One side is this dashboard that is designed for the investigators, the research coordinators and so on. And the other side is the participant-facing mobile app. So you design and generate your app using this dashboard, and the participants can go ahead and download a Centralive app, and using the one-time code that you generate through the dashboard, they can just connect it. So I'll show you a demo and you'll see what I mean by that. But just wanted to remind you that it has two different parts, and very important aspect that you'll see, we have this integration in a closed loop way. So it's not like just a data collection tool, for example, like Qualtrics or something for you just to collect data. No, in fact, you can Centralive would collect data from both devices and self-report. In real time, it can analyze data, and also it can trigger actions in real time. And that's where this just-in-time intervention part will actually be realized. And I'll show you in a demo one example on when, for example, a sensor data, for example, your sleep, can trigger your mobile app, for example, behavior change integration in real time. Right, so let me pause here. I have a few more slides, but I think it's better to watch the demo first, and then we'll go back to our slides. And also let me make sure I have shared the audio. Yes, right.
Let me show you how Centralive makes setting up a study with wearable devices and mobile apps quick and easy. What usually takes months can now be done in just a few steps. Centralive has two main parts: a participant-facing mobile app, available for download on Google Play and the Apple App Store, and a researcher dashboard. Together, they make designing and running studies with sensor data super simple. Here's how Centralive can be used in a real-world study. Imagine you're investigating how physical activity affects sleep, stress, and depression in pregnant mothers. You want to track sleep with a smart ring, monitor stress levels using a Garmin smartband, and assess depression with PHQ-2 EMA surveys. Let's see how you can set this up easily with Centralive. Multi-device integration. Adding devices is a breeze. Just pick what you need, and with a few clicks, they're integrated into your study. You can add multiple devices into a single study. Centralive partners with leading device providers to deliver high-resolution research data directly to its secure platform.
And something I would like to add is it's not just the simple integration. As mentioned in the video, we also have partnership with some of these device providers, for example, like Garmin. And through that partnership, we have access to their software development kits, and we get more raw data. So our priority to add a device to Centralive is really kind of how open the device provider is to make more than just process data available to us, because this way you have the option to use, for example, for sleep analysis, the proprietary algorithm that, for example, Garmin has, or you can do your own actigraphy, because we also give you accelerometer data from the same device, so you can bypass the algorithm and build your own models. The same goes, for example, with heart rate variability and stress. So I'll talk about it later.
For participants, devices appear ready to connect in the app, with privacy fully protected at every step. All data on Centralive is de-identified, and participants join studies using a one-time code. No sign-up, email address, or personal information required.
And actually, this is important because this means that we are not collecting any PHI. For example, we don't. There is no sign-up. We don't need their email addresses. They can even use their own email address, for example, to create an account on Aura, but that information will not be sent to us. So there is no text. We don't ask for their phone numbers, their names, or their email addresses. So all we have is inherently de-identified data coming to Centralive, and you'll see that's through a one-time code that is generated.
Real-time questionnaire design. Centralive's questionnaire design tool makes it easy to create surveys with various question types, like multiple choice, text input, and more. As you set up your questions, for example, for the weekly PHQ-2 survey, Centralive lets you instantly preview how the app will look on the participant's mobile device. This tool also gives you the flexibility to schedule surveys exactly how you need. For example, setting specific days or times to reach participants when it's most relevant.
So something that we're also adding, and in a few weeks, hopefully, will be available, is also multimedia EMAs, where it's not just text. You can also, for example, ask participants to take a picture of, for example, their food or their, I don't know, wounds or anything or skin that you may need for your research, or you can ask them, for example, to record audio to maybe, for instance, reflect on a certain memory for maybe a mental health intervention, and so on. And you can also schedule automatic reminders. So because this is through push notifications, you can schedule that. So let's say if they forget to fill it out, they will automatically receive reminders on their phone, which makes it much easier than just web-based surveys that you have no kind of connection with your users.
In our case, pregnant moms will receive the PHQ-2 survey every week. Just-in-time intervention. Centralive lets you easily design and schedule just-in-time interventions. Simply create the content you want them to see, and Centralive takes care of the rest. For our case, we're designing a physical activity intervention based on ACOG guidelines, which recommend 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week. Finally, we can schedule our designed intervention. In our case, we are sending interventions every day. Centralive will send daily motivational messages that encourage safe activities, like walking or gentle yoga, helping participants stay active and work toward their 150-minute goal. Centralive is a closed-loop platform, allowing you to both schedule interventions and trigger them automatically based on real-time events. For example, you can set the platform to deliver a sleep hygiene intervention, only on mornings following a night of poor sleep quality, based on measurements from devices.
And this is the part that I mentioned without any coding in a closed loop way. For example, in this scenario, sleep data coming from Aura can trigger an intervention. So this is another way that you can personalize your interventions and send it only when they need it and at the time when they need it, not just on certain pre-scheduled, for example, times. And this is one of the strongest aspects of Centralive. As I said, to the best of my knowledge, no other platform out there can really do this, and we needed this for our own projects. That's why it was very important for us to implement this feature. And our hope is in the near future, you can replace this simple rule-based triggering. For example, in this scenario, whenever the sleep quality is outside this bound, the EMA will be triggered. But what if you want to have, let's say, a more complicated, maybe AI predictive model, which would receive a lot of features and then make a decision whether to trigger or not to trigger. So we are trying to also add a kind of a studio for you, so drag and drop studio, where you can also write your own or bring your own models, plug it here, and kind of make it even closer to that real AI-enabled, digital interventions.
Safety alerts. Centralive even watches out for participant safety. Set a heart rate range, say 60 to 140, and you'll get automatic alerts if there's ever a concern, so you know they're safe. You can see participants' alerts inside the dashboard. Adherence tracking. You can monitor participant engagement in real time, including PHQ-2 responses, device usage, and progress toward activity goals. This comprehensive tracking makes it easy to monitor your study and keep participants actively involved. By selecting a specific device, you can also view its wear time for any chosen date, giving you detailed insights into device adherence and usage patterns.
And this was one of the most important needs that at least we had. We really didn't have like an all-in-one dashboard for especially our research coordinators to be able to like have a bird's eye view of what is happening. Like, are these participants wearing the devices or not? And if they're not wearing, for example, sending them an automatic reminder to wear the device or charge the device and so on. And something like this, especially if you plan to use an wearable devices in your or even devices, doesn't have to be wearable. It can be a blood pressure, Wi-Fi or Bluetooth enabled intelligent blood pressure monitor or so on. Having a dashboard to really kind of be able to see the status of the data collection is critical. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of missing data like what we faced at the beginning.
Goals. This comprehensive tracking makes it easy to monitor your study and keep participants actively involved. For any chosen data, adherence and use data. Finally, you can effortlessly download participant data through a secure link. Each download request provides key details, including the request date, relevant participant groups, the selected time frame, and the current status of your download.
And as you may know, wearable devices, they give you huge data in certain formats, maybe like JSON or HTML and so on. But what we do on our servers, we actually have modules that will clean or reformat these data into more analytics-friendly formats. So you can download CSV files with understandable headings and multiple files for multiple variables. So it's also easier for you to start, let's say, importing your data to your, for example, like a tool, your statistical analysis or data science tool, and use it. And something also else that I wanted to add, all the data that is on Centralive is also owned by the PIs. So this is just a service, and then I'll show you the plans later. But this is just a subscription service, and the PIs own the data. They can remove the data at any time they want. And as I said, the data is de-identified also at the same time. So just to mention that we are not going to use as a third party your data for any purposes and so on. All right, so now let me go back to the and continue with my slides. Yeah, so currently we are supporting these devices. We support Oura Ring, Garmin ecosystem, almost every watch by Garmin, and also their, for example, continuous blood pressure, not continuous, sorry, this is a blood pressure device that they have, and there's smart scales. This blood pressure device works both based on with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. For example, with the Wi-Fi one, you really don't need a mobile app, so it's a one-time let's say installation, and anytime the participants measure their blood pressure, automatically the data will be pushed through Wi-Fi to our servers. The same applies to the scale. A smart scale that gives you also body composition in addition to weight and heart rate and things like that. We also have the readings ecosystem, their blood pressure monitors, their scale, their thermometer, and also this, which is one of my favorite devices these days, especially for elderly population, the reading smart pad or sleep pad, which also costs $100 to $200, and it's it's very good if you are only interested in nighttime data, because it doesn't have any battery because you plug into the wall, and also you just connect to the home Wi-Fi, so it's almost invisible, and you can have a lot of data without any issues with charging or connections and so on. And coming soon, we're also going to have much more, a lot of other devices, and we usually try to talk to our stakeholders in this, or our clients, in this case researchers, and see what other new needs they have, and we try to identify devices that are open and would, and open both for integration, but also not only for integration but also data access. So this band, VB band, is one of the devices that you're integrating. It also gives you like electrodermal activity and so on. It's something like Empatica. If you know Empatica, this is an alternative to that. And ECG, continuous ECG monitors, we are planning to add, and also continuous glucose monitors, and many more. And that's why we actually have a form that I can just show you here. It's on our website. So if you're interested in a specific device, please go and visit our website. It's a very simple form that we would love to hear your feedback and see what other devices you guys need, and hopefully we can add it also in the near future. This is actually just the same information, but more from the metrics point of view. So what kind of metrics we collect? As you may already know, things like heart rate variability. For instance, here with Garmin, we have, through their SDK, we have access, and we actually have a slide that, yeah, here, for instance, this actually shows what we get from Garmin Watch, which after a researcher discount would only cost, I think, around $100, maybe $105 or something. So normally, if you reach out to Garmin, and even purchase devices and use their APIs and even integrate it yourself, this is what you get, which is still decent. And we can, if you only need this, we can also give you this level. It's through their application, through the API, to the interface to the application. So the granularity of data is not bad, but it's also not, at least you don't get raw data. And also the frequency is much higher. So for instance, for respiration every 3 minutes, for pulse ox every 3 minutes, or heart rate, and so on. But through our integration, you can even bypass entirely the Garmin ecosystem, meaning that you don't even need their apps anymore. You can just use our own app. You don't need their backend either. So your data is going to be even more secure because now it's not even in a, let's say, on their service. So we're going to store it for you, and then whenever you want, you delete it. So no one else would even have your access to your data. But what we can do here, two things. We can push this frequencies much higher. For instance, here, every 10 seconds, you can get, let's say, pulse ox, or every second, you can get heart rate. Or you can sometimes even push it to the other way around. You may want to preserve battery, and you may not really need every 3 minutes respiration. So you can go like make it one every hour. In that sense, your battery life will last longer, and you can, for example, run your studies and make it easier for participants because they don't need to charge it that frequent. But the three last rows are also very important because here, for example, here using for accelerometer, we really can give you raw signals, not just derived values like 100 hertz signals, like waveforms. Or we can give you for heart rate variability for each heartbeat, we can give you the interbit interval, and using this number, you can calculate almost every HRV value you need. Time domain, frequency domain, nonlinear, all of them are doable if you only have IBI. So that's also the value we really try to get more data out of these devices and make it available to researchers. All right, so I already mentioned about the fact, please submit your request for new devices. Also, if you want to purchase devices, let us know. We know some of these guys and can help you get some researcher discounts. We can refer you. And other type of information, yeah, as I mentioned already, the platform is HIPAA compliant. But we do not inherently store PHI. But if, let's say, for some reasons you have PHI, maybe there's a text box in your survey and someone, wrote some personal things, the platform is HIPAA compliant. So that's just FYI that's not a problem. And also, we would be happy to give you text and kind of IRB approval, called an IRB approval kit. We have documents that you can also use in your IRB to make it more streamlined. Some of the publications in which either Centralive or its predecessor, like Zotker, has been used just for the sake of information if you want to get ideas. We are also adding the list to our website. Another thing that I also wanted to mention is everything you saw so far, seen so far, is the no-code part, right? But what if you want something that is not supported? For instance, you want a more complex, interactive, intervention or app for your intervention, right? Maybe some gaming for assessing cognition or whatever. So we would be happy to talk to you and understand your needs. We have access to a group of software developers that can also provide those kind of customizations for you. Still, it's going to be much more affordable than building everything from scratch because they will use other Centralive components, or they will reuse those components. So only that specific module, or if you look at like a modular platform like Lego, only that piece of Lego will be created and will be put on the foundation of Centralive. So new devices, if they're not supported, new interventions and programmings, we'll be happy. If you want to integrate, let's say, your own models, that's another possibility. We'll be happy to talk to you and, for example, replace that thresholding algorithm maybe with your more complicated ML model that you have. Currently, we need to do it through customizations, but hopefully down the road, that would be something that you can also do it by yourself through the graphical user interface. We also, ICTS already, also through this partnership, offers very rich support for example, like longitudinal data analytics, like statistical analysis, and so on. But if there are certain more, let's say, different type of analytics that are not supported there, for example, biosignal processing or certain, let's say, building agentic AI or things on top of your platform, for example, making your intervention conversational and so on, We would be also happy to share with you what we have about like the services around analytics and extra services, which are, as I said, more and more machine learning, biosignal processing, and so on. But let's say you want to do trend analysis or many other kind of longitudinal, classic longitudinal data analytics, ICTS has rich resources on that front. We would be also happy to help, but I think better to work with ICTS because that's part of a free service. So the last part, which is talks about the kind of the bundles that we are currently offering. We call it a do-it-yourself bundle because it's not just a platform that you will receive, but also we have office hours included. We have a lot of codes and snippets that we would love to share with you to use it. For example, let's say you want to do missing data imputation or you want to visualize your stuff and so on. We'd be happy to share those with you. And also we have write-ups. Let's say you want to go for a grant and for your research strategy, you need maybe some text regarding Centralive, its track record, its validation, and all those things. So we have also templates and codes, sorry, not codes, like text that we'll be happy to share with you for your human subject, maybe protection side, or for your proposal, in addition to all the other kind of services that are included. And yeah, so we also have free training for ICTS members. We will announce those kind of training times for anyone who's going to use. And also we're going to have dedicated office hours and live support for ICTS members. I believe everyone on the call is an ICTS member because that was a requirement to join the seminar. So, and the last part, which is about the cost and plans that we currently offer. Currently, we have 4 different tiers. The essential tiers, which is essential tier, which is free, supports. These are all annual subscription. So just wanted to let you know that you will have an access for 1 year. And if you have, let's say, these are also seats, not number of participants, meaning that, let's say, you want to create 2, 3 different projects and use these seats for different projects, you can. Or let's say, you have a rolling enrollment and maybe your study only lasts a month. So you can free up those seats and reuse it during the year. So you can, let's say you have 400 times 12 months of seats, depending on your study design and so on. These prices are also kind of negotiated for ICTS members. Our hope is that in the near future, we also make these 2 free. Currently, unfortunately, it's not affordable for us to do that because of the high cost that we're paying to AWS for, wearable data has a lot of, this generates a lot of data. You'll see, or if you have already done a study, like easily gigabytes or terabytes of data can be generated. That's why these plans, these annual plans are still paid, even though they're cheaper, much cheaper for ICTS members. So in other words, let's say you have an R21 grant, right? You can go with this pilot tier. You have all the devices included, no matter if you want to use one or all of them at the same time. It's a flat rate. How many questionnaires, EMAs, or multiple digital interventions and so on. That's also totally included. And if let's say you have an R21 type of grant, then this might be a better solution. It's a multi-year. It's better for multi-year projects and so on. And for, of course, any code space. For more flexible ones, we need to give you a code. But let's say we want to go for this free tier, right? And you can have up to 400 participants here. So still you can do a lot with this. I just wanted to show you like one of the studies that used only that essential part. You can still use your our multimedia EMAs to build your app, sending out questionnaires, sending out even incorporating multimedia, let's say video in your questions and so on, and also have more descriptive text. They don't need to be just questions. You can just have materials or text before, let's say, between 2 questions. You can add anything you want. And also you can design your interventions. your mobile app. For instance, here maybe an intervention how to cope with certain things, and you can add your videos there. You can add your images, your text. You can schedule these, and you can look at the adherence when they say done. In your dashboard, you see the adherence. You can have a lot of static extra pages. In other words, not only you're designing your study, you're also designing an app. Through this static extra pages, you can add new pages here. For instance, here this About Us page was added. They will be there all the time. For instance, maybe you want to add information about, let's say, when they need help or assistance, they need to maybe call to a certain place, or any educational materials you want to put. You can add these menus and basically have a free app that is hosted for free and a secure AWS environment for you. And you're also going to have access to adherence tracking, automatic reminders, all of those things. And soon, a lot of smartphone sensing will be also added. For instance, you can use the GPS or location of the mobile phone, or ambient lights, or accelerometer data. Mobile phones are also hard or sensor, very rich information can be extracted from those as well. So I have, if I have time, I can also go to the platform and show you for like 5 minutes live what other things you can do. But this is my last slide. If you are interested, or if you need any of these services, please either visit the ICTS website and fill out a request, and we're going to reach out to you. Or if you need a more detailed demo or something, and you still want to talk to us to see even if the service is needed or not, feel free to reach out to us, request a demo. We can have a one-on-one and better understand your needs to see if and we'll give you honest feedback if the platform is a good fit or not. Of course, we don't want, the idea is really to empower you, not to just give you something that you don't need. But for the sake of time, I know we only have 15 minutes. If at the end we have 5 minutes left, I'll go to the system and show you live also how you can create multiple arms in your study, how you can do randomizations, a lot of other things that in the demo you didn't see. But I want to stop sharing and maybe take some questions, and then maybe if there is time, we'll get back to the demo.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have any question, please either post in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and speak.
I have one question on the chat that was sent to me in a direct message. It says, what about data security and the redundancy? If the cloud server fails and we lose the stored data, are there backup archive where I can retrieve data? Yes, that's the reason we're, in the old platforms, Zotcare, we were maintaining everything ourselves. We had our own servers and so on, but now it's on AWS. And through AWS, there are multiple backups and copies in different places of the country. And no, we are being charged for all of those extra kind of services. Let's say because all of redundancy is to the service provider, in this platform provider, in this scenario, Amazon. And data security, we have signed BAA for HIPAA with Amazon, of everyone through the kind of organization have been trained or licensed by HIPAA. And we, even though, as I said, we don't store PHI, we really act as as if we really have PHI. So that's also everything. We have encryptions, and we check all the HIPAA boxes for logging the data, logging the integration of the data, integrity of the data, and so on.
Mhm. Any other questions? Please just unmute yourself and speak.
All right, maybe I can use the time to show a little bit of a more live how the platform actually behaves.
Right. And also for attendees and other registrants, so we are gonna so the session is recorded. We are gonna post the recording somewhere. I'll email you once we have the recording uploaded, and then you'll have the link and to download the recording of the workshop.
Something also I forgot to mention, if you're also going for grants, we also offer this called a risk-sharing model, and you may not even have fundings to use the more complicated tiers. We would love to talk to you and work with you and support your grant proposal with like support letters as well as like text and write-ups and any way we can uh, to hopefully empower you to be funded. And if your grant, of course, is not funded, there is no kind of retainer or any financial expectations. We would be happy to. We just want to support and hope make you a stronger mm, candidate when you go after those grants. So yeah, so this is actually the front page. But when the first time you enter Centralive as a researcher, you'll see something like this. There are two workspaces, one for your projects, but you can also share your project and add other members. Let's say you have your lab members and so on, and you can add them to your projects. And because you already have paid for it, they don't need to have a paid account. They can just connect and use and join your lab, join, of course, your workspace in the lab. But let's say you want to create a study, and that study can be two types. Interventional, meaning that you're also going to have, let's say, for example, just-in-time intervention and so on. Let's say this is just the ICTS, I know, number one, project ICTS number one. Here you can also have multiple arms, so a single group or multiple group. If it's a multiple group, you can have, of course, as many groups as you want, and each group will be treated separately in a sense that, for example, one group can have receive a lot of sensors or interventions, while one group is just maybe there is no intervention for them. So you have the power to really kind of customize, and for each group, there will be a different app. So when they go to and log in, our system already knows to which group they belong, and they'll see their own app. So you're actually designing multiple apps by just saying that, okay, I have one group or single or multiple groups. Let's say it's a single group. By the way, if you have multiple group, randomization is also supported. You can ask the system to randomize the participant to different groups for you when you enroll them. But when you go to the dashboard to design your study and your app, of course, at the same time, you'll have the option to, let's say, upload your study logo, write about your research, about the kind of the PIs and all those other things that you want in your app to be visible for the participants. You can, of course, add devices. These are the things that you already saw on the demo. And the additional information page is a part that you can add as many, extra pages you want to your app. As I said, any educational materials, anything that you want to add to your app, you'll do it that way. The questionnaire side is also very easy. You just call your questionnaire something, and let's me call it PSS 101, whatever. I think it has to be 5 characters. Then you can have multiple pages. You can say, okay, I want to show everything in one page, or I want to first have, for example, page one, and under page one, I want to have, let's say, certain descriptions, and then try to add my questionnaires under that. And we have different types. It can be with multiple choice, we support logics and so on, but also sometimes not really a question, it's just some information. Like first, maybe you just want to show some information, and then under that, you want to have the actual question. So the first showing them something. Then you can have this kind of editor to bring images, to bring other types of modalities to your app and so on. And there is another part, but let me close this one. Yeah, it's asking me to complete this, but I really don't want to complete that. Let me go back to what is it asking? Let me delete that. It's in the middle of something. Okay, so let me go back to another study to which I was invited. Someone else created a study, invited me, and in this study, for example, there are these participants, like 5 different participants. You can add your own participant. A unique ID will be generated for that participant. You can randomize. This is a multiple group study, so you can do randomizations, or you can do it yourself, like assign to which group this person belong. And you can also have the adherence tracking part, going and looking at, for instance, this person, is wearing the ring or not, or for how you can also see the trend. Like this person really didn't wear the ring on Tuesday and Wednesday, started to wearing it on Tuesday, and again Saturday not wearing it, and all of those other things. And yeah, download data. You can schedule a new download for which the participants of your interest or all of them, and get what you need. Yeah, I think that's more or less the a quick demo. I can still pause here, and if you have questions, I can go back and show you how you can do those things. But as I said, training and onboarding is also provided, so we'd be happy to work with you to in case you need it for your study.
I had a question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, so once you add the participant to the study, how does the participant themselves, like I'm assuming they download the app, and then how would the app know what study they're in?
That's a great question. Uh, yeah, they install the app, okay, and what they are going to see, the front page will be something like this. When they install, you cannot use the app, okay? If you only now go ahead and install it, the front page is this page. It comes like with 6 digits, so you need to enter a number to be able to join. There is no sign up or anything. So how this number is generated, when you're in the dashboard, you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're in a dashboard, let's say, this study that we built together, you go to I need to finish it. Maybe let me go back to this one, which is live, because this is a live study. This is still like a draft, right? You can make it live once you're done with the design. But let's say go to here, go here. Uh, when you create a new participant, here like participant blah, and we assign it, let's say, to the control group, we save. Now there is this code generated. All you need to do is give this code to that participant. The system, this is a one-time code, okay?
Right.
The system already knows participant blah belongs to the control group of the project ICTS 1. So everything is automatic. It will actually understand, and they will be connected or paired with this arm of this study.
I see.
Yeah. So, and trust me, this saves a lot of time. I remember first study we had to create emails one by one, like random emails on Gmail, because we didn't want our participants to use their personal emails because they had their names and everything on it. So it was a PHI. So here we did this so that you don't need to ask them to create new emails, or if they want to use the existing emails, they can do it.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Excellent. I think we're right on time.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for attending the workshop. Please watch out the email regarding the recording of the workshop, and also watch out for future announcements from Center for Biomedical Informatics. We have many other similar data informatics tool related seminars coming up in the future. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? My apologies. Do
Go
you have
ahead.
time for one more question?
Yes, go ahead. We still have time
Is
for one
is
more.
there a way to use the app, and is there a kind of playground option that we could just have it and just use it with some is that something that we can do?
We look at trial for the app, like a trial period for testing.
No, I'm thinking about the playground. So just to get the app and to use it, to put like some fictional subjects, just to get a sense of what the app can do and how it works, and.
Absolutely, yeah. Reach out to us. If you go ahead and fill out the service under ICTS, as I said, the first year, which is only the app without wearables, already free. So everyone on the call can go ahead and just get. But even if you want to connect wearable devices and you want to just test, let's say you say, okay, I need maybe a 2 weeks trial period to just test it. Yeah, we'll be happy to arrange that. If you need a small trial period, also connect your devices and get a feeling. Absolutely, yeah, we'll be happy to arrange that.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, this is a UCI tool, so we're flexible. At the end of the day, we want really to bring value to our campus. So we'll be happy to find ways to work with you guys. So we're highly flexible. I think you're on mute, Kai.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you again for attending. And if you have any additional question, please feel free to email Amir or me, and I'll be happy to answer any question you have. Thank you, and I'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time.
Bye.
Bye.